And so, it begins. Dark were the skies and chill was the wind as the land was covered in a veil of malice. Across the hill did ride a dread army of the night, cloaked in mist and fog, prepared to rain down death and destruction upon the land. And the people cried out for a savior, a noble soul to save them from their impending demise. Just as it seemed all was lost, in strode a mighty hero, clad in shimmering metal from head to toe. Wielding a terrible broadsword, he did cleave his foes in twain, smashing their ranks asunder with a righteous fury. And when the day was done, and the enemy strewn across the fields in pieces, the people did turn to the warrior and say, "We shall name this day in your honor, speak unto us your wisdom." Slowly the warrior turned to face the assembled crowd. Lifting his sword on high, he said but one word that day. One man, one murloc, one giant, angry badger. This is Blue Please. It begins now.
Yes, indeed, folks. Welcome to Blue Please right here on CynicalBrit.com with myself, Total Biscuit. The date today is the 20th of May, 2011. It is 8 p.m. in the British Isles, 9 p.m. Central European Summertime. It is 3 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. It is 12 midday over on the West Coast of the United States. And you are listening to Blue Please. We have a website back. That's a good start, isn't it? Oh, my. We still can't really fully explain what actually happened there, but it wasn't good. No. Bad. Yeah, horrible things happened to the server. It was a hardware problem. Apparently, it has been resolved. Thank God. Thank God. It's all going fine. It's all smooth. For the time being, the website is staying up, which is what it should be doing. The streams seem to be fine, which is also what they should be doing. If you're having lag on one stream, feel free to try the other. That's why we have multiple streams available. Latency and delay and things like that are often related to your place within the world. Yes, if you are weak and you do not have a lot of money and you're part of the lower class, then you will get a terrible stream. Accept your station, ladies and gentlemen. I am, of course, lying, but whatever the case. What's going on with the show today? Well, we were going to try and have a live raid, but the servers for the PTR are unbelievably unstable. Incredibly bad. Yeah. Really. Awful. Horrendously, terribly bad. Bad. They don't work. Absolutely not. Lord. It's unfortunate, isn't it, that all of the testing that we're supposed to be doing, it's not happening. You want to know why it's not happening? Because the servers don't work. I don't know why they can actually keep going on with these tests and not actually fix the servers. I mean, these problems have been around since the PTR was initially opened, and they only continue to grow as more and more people go onto the servers. Did they fix it? No! They haven't done anything, for God's sake. You can't even transfer a pre-made over to another one of the servers because pre-mades in EU have, I think it's a 15-day lag time on them. Let me just check this right now. I would love to find this out. Alright, I actually can't quite remember how to get onto the EU PTR. I'll find it while I'm talking about what's going on in the rest of the show. So, what's going on in the rest of the show? Well, there are a few things, as you might imagine. Mailbox will be coming up very shortly. And also, your chance to contribute to the show at the end of the show by choosing a topic for me to speak about. It is the illusion of choice. Yes, quite. So, in the illusion of choice, you get to email in, and of course, if you come up with a great topic, I will do it at the end of the show with zero preparation, as always. Just the way it goes, folks, just the way it goes. Also, premium services. That's the sound of me hissing at the very idea. We'll be talking about that a little bit later on the show, and it's not going to be pretty. No. Oh, no. It's not going to be pretty. A few other things. What else is going on? I might, if I am able to, try at the end of the show, is the last bit to... or maybe the second to last bit. I don't know. Yeah, I suppose it's going to have to be the last bit because I don't think I can keep the audio stream running as well as the video stream. Is to go and do the Elemental Bonds quest line, at least to actually get it started off. I'll do a live stream for you guys, and then I'll do a re-edited version for the YouTube channel. I'll fraps it alongside, because that I think I can do. I'm fairly sure that area isn't crashing all the time, whereas the instance servers are all over the bloody place. Not so great, folks. Not so great. Unhappy about that. Very much so. But, we'll see. If I can do that at the end of the show, then I will. And that'll be the final bit. And don't worry, those of you who are listening on the podcast, you will be able to watch it on the Justin TV archive as well as on the YouTube channel. Simple as that. I am set up and ready to stream video, I just can't stream audio and video at the same time. In the way that I'm doing right now, because I wouldn't have enough bandwidth for it. So, the answer to the question is quite simply this. I asked just how long it would take to do a pre-made character copy over to the EU PTRs. You want to know how long that is? I can tell you. 15 days. That's assuming that you could even do it at all, because the character copy queue is full. That's not very good, is it? No. That's terrible. We can't have that. However, would you like to know how long it would take were you to, say, log in over on the US realms with a registered US account and create something there? Well, I'd love to tell you, but it's not actually letting me log in with my US BattleNet details. Don't know why, but it isn't. So there you go. So short answer is, I don't have a bloody clue. But last time I checked, which was about a week ago, the time for copy was 5 hours. If I recall correctly. Now, that was not so good. It's not so good. Yep, we've got people checking. Here, right here. Yep, instant. Instant. Yep. Apparently people are saying it's instant. There you go. How wonderful. Why is that? Can someone please explain that to me? Why is it that the EU test realms, that by the looks of it actually get more testers on than the US, get no attention whatsoever from Blizzard? Why is it that they cannot maintain them? Why do they even offer the damn things in the first place? And for God's sake, I'd be okay just playing the US test realms. In fact, you can. It lets you. There's nothing stopping you with the exception of the fact that you can't actually copy characters over there unless you follow some elongated and convoluted procedure that shouldn't really work but does anyway due to bugs in Blizzard's web interface. Yeah. I am not impressed. It's not good. Not at all. So yeah, the state of the PTRs is a joke, which is the reason that you're not getting any raid footage and coverage. I am sorry. There is unfortunately nothing that I can actually do about that. And there you go. Aside from that, what's been going on in the World of Warcraft this week? Well, there's been the rage over the premium content. It's been Firelands testing, which hasn't really worked all that well. Might talk a little bit about the boss that I did quite a bit, Alice Raza. Really interesting boss. I think they've nerfed her. No, they didn't nerf her, actually. She was too easy to begin with. They actually buffed her. They increased her health by about 40%, I think. So that's made the fight a little bit harder on the US side. Not impossible, certainly. A lot of people will say, oh, well, the fight's too easy. I think maybe they could add a couple more elements to it, but we were certainly having problems. But then again, we only got half an hour of testing, and we were disconnecting all the time. So it's really hard to actually assess the difficulty level when all of your guys keep dropping off. And, oh, look, our healer disconnected. Yes, somehow the fights now got significantly difficult. I can't imagine why that would be. But there you go. Not so awesome. Anyway, folks, without further ado, it's time for this.
Mail time.
That sounds like it's mail time. Here's the mail.
It never fails.
It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes,
I want to wail.
Yes, folks. That's mail time. That will be the time where we read the mail. This one is coming in from Zachary Brady, who says, "Hey TB, I recently played a 7-day trial of Rift at the suggestion of my friend. Now having played of just how old, what the... Translator! We need a translator in here. Let's try this one again. Hey TB, I recently played a 7-day trial of Rift at the suggestion of my friend." That doesn't even make any sense, this next line. I'm trying to figure it out. Right, this is what I think it says. "And now, having played it, I've realised just how old WoW is getting as far as the engine and graphics go. Now, I don't have a problem with the rather cartoony look of the game, but I think the game would benefit greatly from a massive overhaul. My question is this: do you think that the recent drop in WoW subs will encourage Blizzard to make those changes, both to improve the looks and the feel of the game?" Well, I think that if Blizzard has any sense, they're going to be targeting the reasons why people actually quit. And graphics, as far as I can tell, are certainly not one of them. If you've endured the graphics for 6 years, especially bearing in mind that they have made improvements in Cataclysm, a lot of the terrain is significantly better, texture count on a lot of the NPC models is noticeably... well, texture count, what the hell am I talking about? Texture quality and polygon count is significantly higher on various things right there, so a lot of that is looking really, really good. So I don't really have a problem with that. The graphics have improved in Cataclysm. The problem is that they haven't updated a lot of the really old stuff. I mean, when we're talking about that, we're talking about the way that the characters look. The races, particularly, the actual player character models. Those aren't very good. And there are also a lot of NPCs that have been around since vanilla that really don't look so amazing. WoW graphics could certainly be better, but I don't believe that people quit for that reason. Right? You don't go to Rift, for instance, because it's a prettier WoW. At least I don't think you do. Do you? Do people actually do that? I suppose it's a possibility. You know, some people might, but I don't think that the majority of people that actually bailed out on it did so for that reason. I think it was certainly in their minds, hey, Rift is much prettier, it's a much more up-to-date game. I think that's the most important thing, is like, Rift is a newer game. Yeah? That's why. That's the reason that people went over to Rift. It's a newer game, and it also offers some things that Blizzard doesn't. I mean, right now, you've got a lot of people complaining, well, Blizzard is nerfing the 5-man content and all sorts of different things, which is, of course, absolutely true. So, if people are actually wanting a more heroic experience, the heroic 5-mans in Rift are significantly better. There are other things that I don't like about it. And the thing is that most of the things that I don't like about it are the same things that I don't like about WoW. The wonderful thing about WoW is that I've already got through the leveling process, so I don't have to go through it again. I don't know. I think there's a part of me that says if I were able to get a character that was fully leveled up, I would probably play Rift. Because I could justify going in and doing the heroic content and things like that. It's just, I can't, as I said in my video, I cannot see me going through the same kind of content with the same kind of skills and the same kind of combat system. That's the thing. And Rift is, at least at the end game, very solid. Arguably as good, if not a little bit better than WoW. And I still think that WoW's rating is really, really awesome. And I think Rift certainly has a way to go in order to beat that. But the way that they treat PvE content in general is more respectful of the player. Whereas Blizzard, they treat you like idiots. You get new content that comes in, which is unbelievably easy or is recycled from older expansions that people have already played to death and has mechanics that are far too simplistic. They take the term heroic and they wipe their ass with it. Like, oh, it's heroic. Why? I don't know, the boss has 20 more HP. Heroism! No, there's nothing heroic about doing heroics. Anything that can be queued up with a bunch of randoms and can then be easily steamrolled by people who aren't even playing properly is not heroic. It's imbecilic. And I have to wonder why Blizzard doesn't simply rename that content. In terms of the way that the game looks, I think the cartoonish look is definitely unique, but there may come a time when Blizzard actually has to seriously update things. I think that really the priority should be to update the character models. I really do. I think the character models do need a polish. The problem, as Blizzard has actually said, which is fairly accurate, is changing the character models upsets people because it changes the way that their character looks. And then people are like, oh my god, how, why, So it's a case of, can you update the character models and give them a higher polygon count, but still make them look similar enough as to not upset people horribly? It's a really delicate balance to make. However, I don't think that is the reason that people left. And I think if Blizzard actually prioritized that, for that reason, and not for, hey, we need to update our stuff because it's 6 years out of date, then I think they're doing it for the wrong reason. But I'm definitely okay with them updating it because, honestly, I think they were saying before Cataclysm came out and before this big drop in players that they actually did want to update them. So that's a valid reason. The problem, and this is the overarching point I want to make, is when Blizzard make knee-jerk decisions based on things which actually aren't happening. For instance, oh, people are leaving the game. Is it because the game's too hard? Do they come to that conclusion? My god, I hope not. And if they've got any sense and they look at the statistics and what people are saying, as in the people who are actually sane and have played the game for a significant period of time, when you're losing your veterans, you know that there's something wrong with the game. Either that or they're just getting bored. But if you're able to determine that it's because the content is just dull and people aren't willing to do this kind of thing again, then that's what they need to be focusing on. My problem is that if they see those numbers and their instant knee-jerk reaction is to do something stupid, and if you want an example of that, the premium services. Oh, we're losing money. Let's just create more services that make more money then, and milk more money out of our existing consumers, as opposed to try and get the ones back that we lost due to our own stupidity. Therein lies the problem. My name is Total Biscuit, and you're listening to the one and only Blue Please right here on CynicalBrit.com. I will be right back after this, and we will be talking about premium services. Oh my. Oh my. Yes, I have a very, very suitable track right here. If you don't know the name of this track, then you lack taste. But I will tell you anyway, for the heathens amongst you. Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. Enjoy.